Hi everyone, this is Adrian,
And I'm Carrie.
and welcome to the first episode of the Scent Library.
Yeah.
Yes, we finally made a dedicated channel for our English perfume videos. So, yeah, and we are gonna start it off with the Guerlain Experience. Yes, and tell us more about Guerlain as a house of fragrance.
So Guerlain is an old, well-established French perfume house. I would say they probably started sometime prior to 1930 because that's one of the earliest ones of their fragrances that I pretty much know the date when it launched. And they've had a wide library of fragrances that have come out over the years. Some of them sadly have been discontinued and you can't find them anymore, but a lot of them are still on the market, either refreshed or some of them still in their pretty much their original composition. And they seem to be very well liked across the globe. Most of the people that are Guerlain enthusiasts are very enthusiastic about their fragrances and truly love these and keep going back to them. You can see by the ratings on Fragrantica that most people that love Guerlain really love Guerlain.
Oh yeah, and I find their fragrances elegant. For some reason, the way they mix their citruses and their spices
Yeah.
and everything else just comes off like, the kind of fragrance you'd expect from someone who just seems to be stylish or just
Yeah.
got their thing together.
They really do seem to be a house that tries to put out things that are relevant for the time, so new things come out, but they compose them in a way with really great ingredients and a very nice nose towards things that will last, that are meant to be for more than just like this year. So very few of their fragrances get changed up a whole lot over the years and stuff. And that seems to be a thing I think that people really like, is knowing that they can keep going back and get what they already have become accustomed to and really like.
Yes, so let's start off with a fragrance that was actually designed for women this time. Yes, we normally don't talk many fragrances made for women in particular, and this one's called Mandarin Basilic. Yes, and it smells exactly like the name Mandarin oranges and basil.
Yeah, yeah. Mandarin Basilic is part of their Aqua Allegorica line, and these are meant to be light, fruity, aromatic types of scents. They're generally done in an eau de cologne sort of a format, which means they don't last a long time, but because the notes are like the high fruity notes and aromatics, they're not going to last for a long time. So you can either spray it on fairly heavy or spray it on frequently. This one, the Mandarin Basilic, was launched in 2007, and the perfumer was Marie Salomon. This gets a 4.12 rating out of 5 on Fragrantica. So like I said, people that like Guerlain really like their Guerlain, and a lot of people voted on that. So that's also a sign of enthusiasm about it. It has top notes of clementine, bitter orange, orange blossom, green tea, and ivy. And it has also middle notes of mandarin, basil, chamomile, peony, and base notes of sandalwood and amber. So when you wear this, what do you like about it?
Well, it smells like a summer fragrance, something that I can easily wear to the beach. I don't care if it's for women. I just love how the mandarin oranges smell,
Yeah.
It's great.
These days, obviously, people are more open-minded about fragrances being just fragrances. I would have a hard time calling this one strictly a woman's scent. There's nothing particularly super feminine about it, but there's also nothing masculine about it. It's a fruity, fresh, aromatic scent.
Yes. Okay. So next fragrance, we're gonna go with another scent that was designed for women, which I don't know why. It's called Shalimar Eau de Parfum.
Yeah.
And this one, I can definitely notice the iris scent. It's got this lipsticky kind of fragrance that goes with it. Although I also smell that in men's fragrances, so I'm like, you know what? I like how it's. I've worn it, and I like it. You know, for what it is.
Yeah, it's a really nice scent. This particular one, the EDP version that we have here, was launched in 1990. So it's been around for some time. I believe that there was an earlier version, like an eau de toilette, that was way farther back. And some of the notes may have varied a little bit when they went into the EDP version of it. This one is designed by Jacques Guerlain, which is one of the Guerlain family of the line. This one has notes of citruses, bergamot, lemon, cedar, mandarin, orange. Middle is iris, patchouli, vetiver, jasmine, rose. And base notes have vanilla, incense, leather, opopanax, sandalwood, tonka, and musk. So lots of stuff going on there. What do you find is the thing that comes through most to you when you smell this? The iris?
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Yeah, I get that.
It's
and
not
then,
sweet though. It's
no,
not like some other fragrances that have iris in it and sweet.
No,
This one's more on the deep
it's
side.
a little bit of, yeah, it's like kind of like in more of a kind of a woody smell. I definitely notice the base notes coming through in that, the sandalwood, the incense and stuff. It's a very
That's why
nice.
it makes me question, why would you call it a women's fragrance when it easily could pass as a guy's because
Yeah.
of the woody base notes.
Right. I think I agree with that. I think that probably this one was an evolution of one of the earlier Shalimar line. And so, capturing on the success of that, keeping the familiar, very beautiful bottle and stuff, they just kind of kept it as, orienting it towards women. But quite honestly, I think it's a scent that can be easily pulled off as a unisex.
Okay, so next in our line of Guerlain fragrances is Vetiver.
Yeah.
Yes, Vetiver for men, which makes me ask this question again. Why does spring smells like a man? I'm just like, doesn't really matter because this one smells like spring. It smells
does.
like you've rolled on like grass surrounded by all the flowers and plants growing in your backyard. That are nice.
Yeah.
And on a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it smells like. It's great.
Right. So for people that are kind of new to vetiver, vetiver is really the roots of a certain type of grasses. And so it has a grassy smell, which you would expect. It's also a little bit spicy, and depending on the type of vetiver, can smell sort of like fresh cut grass, or it can smell kind of like hay. So this one, to me, is a kind of a spicy but a fresh grass type of a smell. And then there's a lot of other spicy stuff going on with this one. Now, the interesting thing about this one is this one is launched in 2000, and it was a relaunch of the original vetiver, which came out in 1961. You'll sometimes see references to it coming out in 1959. I can't really resolve that, but most agree that it's 1961. And the original one, these are both eau de toilettes. The original one had a lot fewer notes that they actually claimed in it. But all of those notes are in the modern relaunch of it. And then there are quite a few more notes in this modern relaunch. The original notes were lemon, vetiver, tobacco, nutmeg, and pepper. The new one has a whole lot more going on. It also has bergamot, neroli, mandarin, carnation, iris, sandalwood, oak moss, myrrh, and tonka bean. So this one definitely has a lot going on. It's kind of spicy and yet fresh. And so, yeah, I agree with what you said. It smells like spring.
Yeah, smells like spring. And talking about spring, this would be spring in Iceland because it reminds me of Iceland and how much they love licorice, because This one is almost the same as the other one, except this one has licorice on it.
Yeah, this one, Vetiver Extreme actually was launched in 2007. So it came out after the relaunch of Vetiver. And then sadly, it seems to be discontinued now. But it definitely has a sort of a spicy note to it, an oriental sort of a side. Specifically, like you mentioned there, the licorice notes and incense. This definitely darkens it up a lot, makes it a little bit more of an evening scent, I think, and really, really memorable. When you smell this one, you definitely will remember it. It is still possible to find this one if you look for it out there. It hasn't completely died out yet. There still seems to be some around that you can get. I just recently bought a new bottle of it, and I'm very happy about that. The notes, this one came out in 2007, and it gets a 4.26 rating amongst fans on Fragrantica. It has notes of tarragon, artemisia, licorice, lemon, bergamot, incense, pepper, nutmeg, of course, vetiver, cedar, and tonka bean.
Yeah. So I really like this a lot, and our next trip to Iceland, I'm definitely taking a decant of this. Yes, because they love licorice out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the licorice note, although licorice is not one of my favorite things to eat, I love to smell it. And to incorporate it into a fragrance like this and do it so well is really amazing, and is testament to the great perfumery that always comes out of Guerlain.
okay. So next up we have Habit Rouge for Men. Yes, and this one smells like spicy citrus, yet quite elegant, you know? Yeah.
This
So,
one this one launched in 1965, and one of the things that has become kind of notable about this is some of the stars that wear it. In particular, if you think in the 1960s and you think of something kind of new on the scene, that's, you know, like a sexy men's fragrance and stuff, who might be wearing this? Oh, maybe Mick Jagger.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so this was known as a scent that he always wore, and
wow.
apparently to this day still wears it. There's a lot of stars that like this one, Habit Rouge Eau de Toilette. Now, there's several iterations of Habit Rouge. They all carry a similar DNA, but they're quite different. The Habit Rouge definitely has an acquired taste to it. When I first smelled it, I did not love it.
Oh, I liked it instantly. I didn't know though, but I smell like Mick Jagger.
Yeah, it took me a couple years, and this bottle, you know, got sort of tossed around, and I lost the cap to it and stuff. So I didn't love it at first, but I do more now. And the formulation of it seems to have stayed pretty much the same over the years. Although a lot of people will say that the older formulation was a little fruitier and better at the opening and stuff. But I still love this one. It smells kind of like leather jacket, kind of like, you know, spicy, fruity, but
Yeah.
definitely just a really fun fragrance to wear. And it really seems to last. What do you think about it?
Hey, now that I know Rockstar wore it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I really like it.
Yeah.
But I like all the Guerlain offerings.
Yeah.
You know.
So some of the notes are in the top: lemon, Brazilian rosewood, orange, bergamot, lime, tangerine. So lots of fruit going on there.
Yeah, but the rose you smell and the rosewood too.
Yeah. And then middle notes are rose, carnation, cinnamon, patchouli, jasmine. And then in the base you have leather, amber, benzoin, oak moss, labdanum. So a lot of really great notes, very well blended. It all comes off really well.
Spicy, leather, citrusly, floral.
Yeah, I think this is one that some people will instantly fall in love with. Some people, like me, there's something about it at first that may catch you wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I think also, I think I acquired this bottle. It was an older bottle, and I was specifically looking for an older bottle, and maybe the first few sprays out of the atomizer were stuff that had sat there and oxidized for a while. So always be aware of that, that sometimes the first several sprays out of an atomizer, if the bottle has been packaged for a long time and stuff, may be sort of oxidized. So just spray that into the air and get rid of it, and then assess the smell of it and stuff for yourself. Otherwise, you might just smell it and think, oh, that went wrong, and put it on the shelf and not look at it again for a while.
All right, next up we have Heritage Eau de Parfum, and also for men. And this one smells of coriander and what I imagine juniper berries to smell like. What do you think?
So let me see. I haven't smelled this one for a while. Let me smell the tester strip. Nicely blended. Spicy and yet sort of soft and fresh.
Yeah, I think the main spice is coriander.
It is. It is. So this one was launched in 1992. This was also done by one of the Guerlain family, Jean-Paul Guerlain, and pretty popular on Fragrantica. It gets a 4.4 out of 5.
Wow.
Has top notes of lavender, juniper, clary sage, bergamot lemon, violet. Although I don't catch a lot of violet in it.
But I catch the clary sage.
Yeah, I definitely do. It has patchouli, coriander, definitely. That comes through pretty clearly. Orris, pepper, geranium, jasmine, oak moss, musk, cedar. So a lot, once again, a lot going on here, but well blended. And this kind of, I feel like, takes us into sort of fall scents or cooler weather scents.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? This one, I suppose you could wear it in warmer weather, but this one is perfect for cooler weather. I think it would come through a lot more, whereas some of the other scents we've talked about maybe don't project as much in cold.
Okay. So next up is another thing that I really like because it blends something like it smells like a dessert. And if not for the incense, I think someone might eat you because you smell like a vanilla almond cherry dessert, like a jello or something, and somebody might just scoop you and just eat you, and that's how this smells like. And again, for men, which is why, what about vanilla and cherry and almond makes it for men? Maybe the incense? I don't know.
I don't know. But it's L'Homme Ideal. There's quite a few in this line. This one is L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. And one of the things that makes this one very popular is in the opening, it has a really nice cherry note or a cherry accord. Now, as that dries down, the cherry accord sort of turns into one of its components, which is almond. And it has a nice almondy smell that's really, a nice, rich, almost gourmand sort of a feeling. And like you said, it would be very gourmand if it weren't for like the notes of the incense and stuff around it and rose that make it, something other than kind of foodie smelling. But it's really quite a delicious smell.
Yes, it is. Very delicious.
And I would have a hard time saying that this one, that women couldn't pull this one off. I think this one is actually pretty nice for unisex.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right. So this one came out in 2016, and there are quite a few of the L'Homme Ideal line. They have from sporty to some different ones that, take it in some different directions. But this one is probably one of the more sought after ones, and sadly one of the harder ones to get a hold of, just because it seems to sell out as soon as anybody gets any of it.
I mean, damn, so good. So next up is a favorite of mine because they make cacao smell so elegant with the spices that they blended in this fragrance. So yeah, this one is called L'Instant. Did I pronounce it right?
L'Instant.
Yes, pour homme, for men. Again, don't know why, but hey, it smells great. Very elegant.
Yeah. This one goes into some really nice fragrance blend here. One of the things about this one, it has a licorice note to it that is kind of a surprising and well blended, so it doesn't come out as a strong licorice forward, but definitely it is well blended with the other things in there to become a very prominent central note to it. It has star anise, which is what they make licorice out of, bergamot, elemi, lemon, and pepper, and then cacao, sandalwood, smoke, tea, jasmine, and patchouli. So lots of earthy, spicy, incensey sort of smells, a little bit of fresh citrusy smells and stuff, then wrapped around the kind of the oriental spicy star anise to make a really interesting scent profile.
Yeah, and what adds to the spiciness is obviously the other note that like I was surprised to hear again. It has elemi, and that wood that comes from the Philippines. They use the sap from the wood to make the incense smell spicier, but on its own it smells already incensey. So add that to the licorice and the cacao, and it's the spicy, elegant cacao smell.
And it has a kind of a soft, not quite powdery smell to it, but almost like velvety.
Yes, so nice. So nice.
Yeah. This one definitely, I think, is a kind of a cooler weather scent. That's where it really would shine. You could probably wear it all year long and stuff. It might get a little bit much in the heat, but it's really a really good all-around scent, and it's just it has a sort of an almost hypnotic quality to it.
Yeah. Okay, so next one is the last but not the least, because this smells like a drink at the beach. Because it smells like rum and mint, and you definitely like a drink. I think of spending the evening time at the beach smelling like this, like meet up with a date or like a friend or someone you really like at at the beachside cafe, and at night or at the bonfire or something. It's just nice.
This one came out in 2016. It was designed by Thierry Wasser.
Okay.
Not one of the Guerlains. Gets high ratings on Fragrantica, 4.33. And it has top notes of lime, mint, and rum. So like you said, a kind of a nice poolside drink or something. And then it also has floral notes, and it has vetiver, cedar, and patchouli. So a little bit of earthiness to ground it.
Yeah.
So definitely a beautiful scent. Now, you said last but not least, but I actually have a surprise.
Okay.
So this one recently came in, and I wanted to share the unboxing and the first smells with you and with our audience. So, see here, the presentation says Guerlain, and it is a kind of a neat zebra sort of a box.
Okay.
What could that be about? Well,
a zebra?
Maybe, or maybe not.
What is that?
So, this doesn't come across the camera very well. This is called Vol de Nuit.
Vol de Nuit.
Right. In French, that is night flight.
Night flight, okay.
So, this one is a...
So you're gonna turn into some kind of like vampire at night when you drink that or something?
Might. This is extremely hard to get a hold of.
Oh, wow.
And I'm super happy to get this and to do the honors of opening it. Notice, so it's hard to see here, but the bottle, the motif is supposed to be like a propellers in motion.
Wow. And you're gonna have to cut it? And
it has, yes, this is a perfume concentrate, and it has little, it is sealed, the bottle is sealed with a stopper, and it has a little cord that helps to keep it down while it's being while it's in storage. So this is the ceremonial breaking into the bottle.
Okay. So a nail clipper instead of a pair of scissors.
Yes, because I couldn't find a pair of scissors that I thought was sharp enough and elegant enough to do it. So.
All right. Okay.
And I'll let you.
Smells kind of shampoo-y.
Yeah, I don't catch a lot right away on it, but I have been after this one for quite some time, and it smells different on skin. This one is from 1933.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah. This one is really famous from their exclusives line. And lots of people, lots of movie stars wore this. This was definitely kind of a Hollywood scent. And it came, Vol de Nuit, Night Flight. I think it was inspired by back in the day when aviation was still kind of new and there were some women going into aviation. And so definitely back in 1933, this was kind of a new thing, a new type of a perfume on the line and stuff that inspired lots of women and stuff. And this has top notes of galbanum, narcissus, bergamot, orange, lemon, and mandarin. Middle notes of iris, narcissus, vanilla, violet, carnation, and jasmine. And in the base, oak moss and sandalwood and musk.
So I'm smelling narcissus. And I don't even know what narcissus is. What is it?
It's a type of a flower. Probably kind of a lily.
It is a very flowery scent. I mean, like, at first it smelled kind of oily, shampoo-y. Yeah, and then floral. And,
Yeah,
I'm a little afraid to put on some more just so I could smell some more. It's just, it's scary.
Dab some on your skin.
Oh. I think takes some time to getting used to.
Yeah. So this is like the old perfumes. This is fairly vintage. I'm not sure exactly what year this formulation of it comes from, but I would say this is something or other more along an 80s vintage of the bottle.
Whew.
So yeah, that's quite a thing to get something like that and to be able to be the first person to break into it, not one that somebody's had open for 20 years and it's oxidized and stuff. Is pretty exciting.
Wow. So I hope you like the surprise ending, because I do. I didn't see it coming. I mean, we were gonna do this on the fly, and yeah, here it is, What an experience.
Yeah.
What an experience, like a time capsule.
A time capsule, really.
Yeah, it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this Guerlain experience, because we certainly did.
Yeah.
And before we go, let's give us a conclusion what Guerlain is for everyone.
There are some really monumental perfume houses that most of them are French, and Guerlain is certainly one of them. Guerlain and Chanel are probably the pinnacle of the classic French perfumery.
Wow.
And that both of them...
I didn't even know about them, Guerlain. Wow.
Yeah. And Cartier. They've been around forever, and they're still around and doing very, very well. They maintain, their own formulations instead of selling them off and letting people do all kinds of things with them. So this is really a good example of a house that is classic French perfumery. the people that get into Guerlain perfumes generally really are strong fans of it and keep coming back. So Guerlain has a dedicated audience. Once you get into some of the Guerlain fragrances, it's hard to find something else that really matches them. So as you journey into some Guerlains, we hope that this program has given you a little idea of some of the things that might be for you. Definitely once you start buying a few Guerlain scents, I think you'll probably buy them again and again and keep
Oh
them in
yeah,
your scent
so
library.
elegant.
Yeah.
It's so elegant how they mix them. It's just like wow.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Yeah.
and turns out, yeah, even movie stars wear them.
Yeah, you won't smell like every other person out there wearing perfume. You'll smell very unique.
Okay. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And till next time. Bye bye.
Bye.